Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Couplepreneur podcast. I'm Adam.
And I'm Maggie.
And we are on another walk and talk adventure. This week we are out at Canopolis Lake in central Kansas. We've got the water, we've got rocks for skipping, Moji's around here somewhere eating dead fish. I've got my lovely wife, Maggie, our little daughter sleeping away here. And we are ready to dive into a conversation. This week, we are breaking down what has happened over the past week with SAF Digital, our online business, what it means to be a couplepreneur, and the beauty and the lifestyle that we are slowly building for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're breaking it all down. We're showing the bumps, the bruises, the triumphs, the opportunities, the challenges, everything. You ready? Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Shall we wander, Maggie?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go on a little walk and talk. It might be a little bit bumpy because of all the rocks that we're
there's a lot
jumping over.
So when we thought last week's episode was really bumpy when we were tripping over
when I
those
was falling
holes.
into holes. But
This one's going to be even worse.
I know.
So Maggie, what are we talking about today?
Let's do our wins and challenges and opportunities.
Very cool. Take it away.
Both in business and in life, and
Let's do
just from looking back on our past week.
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's do business, SAF Digital,
Okay.
Couplepreneurship, wins. Take it away.
Wins. Oh man, this week was so much fun to me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one thing I need to say to just get it out of the way.
Uh-huh.
I am sick.
Sure.
Obviously, everyone can
Let's
tell
throw
because
a
my voice
caveat.
sounds so weird.
We'll throw a caveat out there.
My voice sounds so weird. So anyways, this week was getting over cold, have a cold now still, but my spirits were so high because we had so many calls this past week, and that was my win. I just thought it was so much fun on all of the calls.
And you had
I was
calls
mute.
with potential clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was muted because Eva was sick as well. And so Adam was just crushing all the calls by himself, but it was so much fun to listen in on those. And I sent the emails afterwards and did all the behind the scenes stuff. But that was just my win, that we really, you nailed those, Adam. I just have to say, you did so good, and I had so much fun listening in, and then doing the follow up, and that was my win. It made my sickness, my week of not feeling well, actually
Bearable.
Because it was just fun to have things going.
So I guess to maybe add a little context to what Maggie's talking about.
Yeah.
So SAF Digital now has officially launched our first high ticket service offering. So for us, that would be a price point of anywhere from $3,000, around $3,000 ish per client that we're able to onboard to our personal brand accelerator.
Yeah.
Which is where we're laying the foundation for a solid personal brand and presence on LinkedIn, and learning how to utilize that as a platform to drive business outside of the platform. So whatever other thing that you're doing, to utilize that to attract partners, customers, referrals, whatever it is.
Right.
So when we have these calls, what we've created is a lead magnet, which is where people reach out to us and we help them provide some value, build some trust, and that helps us move them through to the high ticket offering, because it's hard for someone to have no context to who you are, how you could help, and then to just drop, $3,000 on something you're doing. But when you can show value, show expertise, show knowledge, and then actually give them something that's valuable. Yeah. It moves that whole sales process forward.
Yeah.
So for us, we have what's called the LinkedIn profile facelift, which is where we do a positioning and alignment of their profile with who they are and what they're doing currently. And so in this context, we had, do we have 5?
I think we had 5.
We had 5 clients last week or potential clients that we were working with, doing the review. And some of those were delivery calls. So we do an initial intake. Then we actually do some magic behind the scenes, craft a bunch of stuff, write some copy, headlines, banner, text. And then we do another call where we actually deliver it. And at that point, through this whole process, we're kind of talking about the accelerator. And that's our process for moving someone from either not knowing us or not knowing us in that context to then being interested in purchasing our high ticket offer.
Uh-huh.
And so this
So
was
all, yeah.
this
So
is
all
the
of
first
that
week
is
that we
free.
did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that's free.
Yeah.
It's a lot of value.
It's so cool though.
But I would echo your win. So I'm going to throw in
Yeah,
my win.
do it,
Kind of
do
carry on with this.
Yeah.
The win for sure was having the calls and having the feedback that we got from the calls.
Mhm.
Every single one was like, wow,
Mhm.
this is awesome. This is exactly what we needed
Yep.
to either take our profile to the next level or just to have a clear understanding of how to use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously not trying to like shill our product on this
On the podcast.
But I just want to give you context. This is what SAF Digital is like kind of morphing into. And a lot of this is because we're seeing a need in the marketplace. We're seeing customers that have this issue and this challenge. And it's something that we think we can deliver on. So,
and it's so fun to hear people be, to be on the call and be like, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. This is so valuable. And I think that gave me a lot of energy this week to just hear those comments
hear
and
those people say,
hear people be like, wow, this is exactly what I need. This is my LinkedIn profile has been like, I know the value of having everything kind of put together on my profile for when people search me and find me. But I just haven't like sat down and actually done it. And to be able to have someone echo back the words that I need to use to have like the right wording on my profile is so helpful. Like, thank you so much. And so, I don't know. It's just been really fun. It's been really fun. Yeah.
So that was really validating to have like people really interested in the stuff that we were doing. And then, it definitely made your week of sickness and trial more fun. It was hilarious though, because every single one we had to start the conversation with, "Hey, Maggie's on the call, but she's on mute." And she's just going to listen in.
I know.
Because the baby's sick, she's sick.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of fun. So.
And then it was funny. Like every follow-up email was like, it was fun listening to the conversation you had with Adam while I was on mute.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyways.
So Maggie, tell me then, what about life? What was the win?
The life win? My life win was actually, I've been reading or should we do all business and then life?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
So were some losses.
Because I feel like we'll get like we'll go all over the place. People will be like, "Whoa,
what's going on here?"
Yeah.
So what about
business challenge?
Business challenges.
I think the business challenge for me this week was just keeping our head about us, as we learn and start to get that momentum going. Starting to see our flywheel working, talking to people and actually really thinking like, whoa, we're going. We're going.
Almost like a fear associated with that?
Yeah, so I think that it was really just not overthinking anything. Just being like, one thing after the other, we got this. And so, yeah, in a way that was a challenge, but it was a challenge. And as I look back, I am proud of myself for
overcoming that challenge.
Yeah, overcoming the challenge. Yeah, I didn't get spun out or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was yours?
So I was feeling... So we have recently started collaborating and working with someone on our team, actually our new director of content. And there was a little bit of time throughout the week where we weren't like communicating necessarily. Like she was in her world doing her work and I was in my world doing my work, but I wasn't like seeing the work that she was doing. And this is something that we kind of we had a little sync up meeting towards the end of this week. And I was able to kind of express this, was like, I just want to, like, this is something I'm working on as as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as someone who is learning, stepping into this role to like trust the people on your team that are doing their work. Because then and not only doing her, I knew she was working, but like, is it aligning with the vision of what we're actually trying to achieve? Especially because we're such a new company and we're so agile. Things are changing so like constantly.
Yeah.
And so it feels like every other day, the ideas that we had previously about our business, about our offer stack, about all of that are just no longer applicable to the business that we're running.
Right. Like one day we're calling it this and the next day we're calling it this.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, what?
Wait,
you
what?
know?
And so, yeah,
Or
for
we're
me, it
assuming
was
she's like,
learning to trust that she's doing that, and especially learning to trust that I'm not leading her astray. You know, that I'm constantly saying like, oh, do this, do this, do this. And it's just like this big kind of, and she's like, I don't know where we are going. And so that was just like something, and I think there's like a level of professionalism and confidence that comes from somewhat of a more established business once you get like a few iterations under your belt, that I'm excited to then continue to pivot, but it's more of a pivot rather than like really changing things up. And so, just realizing that's something I need to work on myself is trusting the team. And then through that process, like also staying focused and staying clear on what we're actually trying to accomplish, and then communicating that effectively to the rest of the team. And right now there's 3 of us. So when there's more, it's like that all becomes
even more important.
So that would be my challenge, was that I didn't do that very well, but I did pull it out towards the end of the week. And shout out to Erin, our director of content.
She's amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
I look at your stuff, I'm just like, this is incredible.
I know.
How are we so lucky?
We're so lucky. It's giving us so much more confidence to just like
to onboard and
go
bring forward.
And
do sales calls. So opportunities. What are you most looking forward to?
Do you want to keep walking?
Yeah, we can keep going.
I think
change the scenery. I like it.
I know. That kind of brings me into my next opportunity that on the business side is that I'm just so excited to run. Like we've had clients already, but not in this specific service offering that we've created. And for the personal brand accelerator. And I'm so excited to run our first client through that. Because I know it's going to happen very, very soon. And I am so looking forward to that. And I just think that, that's going to be a big win. And I'm looking forward to it happening very soon.
Yeah. Very cool. I would agree with that. So we have clients that we're working with and have worked with on kind of what I like to say, like bespoke ghostwriting, which is where we just like sit down and have conversation with them. And from those conversations, grab their stories, insights, expertise, and then create posts or content on LinkedIn that help with whatever their goals are, whether that's to grow their audience, gain a little more influence in their specific industry, attract clients, whatever it is. The personal brand accelerator is what we call a productized service, which is essentially kind of like a machine, a conveyor belt, not a conveyor belt, a roadmap, just like a really clear, like set process that we can like continuously improve. But each person that moves through it, like gets the opportunity to build upon the knowledge from the previous, person, in terms of what's working, what's not working, how's the algorithm changing, like what's the most effective use of our time, their time, and the most effective way to like position what they're doing, on the platform. So, we're excited to like not only launch it, but then to run people through this system, because again, that's what helps us iterate on the
and make it better and make it even better and better and better every single time.
I had an opportunity. What was it?
Yeah, did you have one for business?
Yes. It was so good. It was the best. Okay, while I'm thinking about it, Maggie's going to tell you a joke.
Dang, I feel like there's like something in my brain that whenever Adam says this to me, all joke ideas literally just like vanish from my brain. And I'm like, I don't know any jokes. I don't know a single one.
Oh, I know what mine was. Okay.
Oh,
that was a great joke, Maggie.
Yeah.
So
hope that entertained you.
We also do play some music, and so whenever we play shows and I have to tune, I always throw Maggie under the bus and be like,
always throws me under the bus.
Okay, Maggie, tell us everyone a joke while I'm tuning.
And I'm like, how dare you do that again?
That's funny. Okay.
Anyway.
So mine is, as we were having our facelifts, we were having these conversations with clients, potential clients, teaching them about the personal brand accelerator, also providing value and helping them align their profile.
Yeah.
One of them was so excited about what we were doing, one of our potential clients, and the thing was that they love writing their own content. So he, in fact, just like loves writing his own content. He's really good at it. He has an incredible voice, an incredible perspective. And I told him, I was like, it's going to be really hard for us to, capture that essence, just because it's so uniquely you. And his goal on the platform was to express himself. And so what he actually told us, he's like, I don't necessarily want this program, but what I see is like the expertise that you have, the knowledge that you have, and like the ability to kind of like echo things back. And so that one actually is potentially morphing into consulting. So he's like, I just kind of want to have these conversations to like use you as a consultant or like a coach or, you know, whatever we want to call it, to help him grow on the platform. And that was like super validating. I was like, whoa, that's cool. And it also showed that like we actually have learned a lot.
We've learned so much about LinkedIn.
Like, what a weird
thing that I never thought I'd say. I've learned so much about LinkedIn.
But yeah, that was just really cool. And so I'm excited for that to like come out and come to fruition, and we'll see what we can kind of come with, because he's just a really cool dude, and it'd be fun to stay connected kind of regardless. But cool.
That's a great one. And so that brings us into life wins.
Life win.
That's the end of our business portion.
Our business. All of our life wins last time became business ones.
I know. So you never know.
We can really try.
You never actually really know. Okay. This one is a I don't know if it's a win. I don't know. I'm reading the book. What's it called? What's the book called? It's by Mel Robbins. And it's called The Let Them Theory.
Okay.
And so I'd seen Mel Robbins, like some of her stuff and on YouTube and whatever. And anyways, I'm reading this book, and that has been really fun to me. And honestly, like, it's a really cool theory and
Can you give us like a little summation of it?
A great mindset shift. And I'll give you a quick summation of it, of what it is exactly. But I also want to tie it to my opportunity, my life opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Because the thread is the women's collective that I'm now an alumni of.
Kind of like leadership cohort.
Yeah.
Okay.
A women's leadership cohort thing. They're doing an alumni book club on this book. And so I'm really looking forward to having conversations with other women about this book. And so I kind of got started on it early because the book club isn't for a while. But anyway, the Let Them Theory is about recognizing that everything in life, like, there's so many things that are out of your control when it comes to being in a relationship with other people. And that so often we're trying to kind of micromanage other people, or we're just allowing them to affect our state of being. And so there's two parts to the theory, which she really emphasizes, to whenever there's like a moment in life where you feel like it's out of your control and you're like wanting to control it. So she kind of talked about how like her son was going to prom, and like the kids didn't know where they were going to eat. And she was like, what? You don't know where you're going to eat right before prom? There's a group of 20 of you. And then her daughter was like, and she's like, all the parents started just being like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How are we helping them? And then her daughter was like, Mom. And then there was a storm cloud happening, and her daughter was like, and she's like, they're all going to get wet. They're going to like, what are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. And her mom's like, Mom, just let them. Let them get wet. Let them go to this restaurant and be late to prom. Like, just let them. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And so instead of like getting all flustered about it, she was like, okay, how about I just let them like figure it out? And
becomes part of their story.
Yeah, it becomes part of the story. And so she was like, I went up to him and then had a really sweet moment with him, being like, babe, have a great time at prom. And he was like, thanks, Mom. And because they didn't care.
Instead of tainting that moment with like,
right, trying to micromanage and control it. And then she's like, then the second part of her like let them theory is then you say let them and then let me. So that's the part where then you have your power and you recognize how you're going to respond in the situation. So the let me kind of takes you out of it to be like, let this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do I respond? Like, where am I going to eat for dinner? Like, or let me respond to my son with joy and excitement for his time. Like, this is his moment, or whatever.
Hey, son, what if I call ahead right now and try and get you guys into, does this place sound good?
Right. Does that work for you?
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm just going to help.
Right.
Just be helpful instead
like,
of
let
chastise.
me, right. And so anyway, that's kind of.
I'm a problem solver. Like, I can't just like let that go.
Right.
But I can offer a solution.
A response.
That
yes.
aren't me just being like, what are you guys doing?
Right. So I think it's cool that second piece of like, let them and let me kind of helps you recognize that there's situations always that are out of your control, but yet you always have a response to any situation. The only thing that you can control is yourself and the response that you have. And so that's really powerful, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've just really been enjoying the book, and like the stories in it are really fun. And anyway,
cool.
That's what I'm also looking forward to.
To the book club itself, or like just diving into that book even more?
Yeah, kind of both. Yeah.
More time with the book.
Yeah. Anyway.
And other people's perspective with it too.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then my life challenge this week was just being sick, honestly. And actually, Eva being sick.
Eva and you being sick at the same time, which is doggy.
I know. And honestly, it's one of those things that like as a mom, you're like, whatever. If I'm sick, I'm sick. But I just want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And she's doing so much better. So it's like, all is well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very cool.
You go for yours.
Okay, let's start heading back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This way. Oh, golly. I got you.
We did it.
Oh, my word. That was your life challenge.
That was my life challenge. No, my life challenge was watching my life flash before my eyes, realizing I have so much more I want to do. Okay.
You're so funny.
So my win of the week is kind of win of my life. Like, I'm married to the best woman in the whole history of the world, because even while being terribly sick with a sick baby, she still crushed it in business, in life, in everything. She was a fantastic mother to my daughter and son. She was still a good wife to me and gave me a lot of grace. I was still nice to you. And loved me. And honestly, like you didn't become kind of like a needy blob, which there are times where that's okay. It's like, shoot, go for it, No, I'm not saying you. It's just like, I'm not going to hold that against you.
If I do become a needy blob.
But like, you rose to the occasion is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, thank you.
With Eva and everything. It was just really cool to see.
Oh.
It was cool to see and experience.
Oh.
Yeah. Unless you get a big head, but I just want you to know it was great. I was impressed.
I appreciate you so much, babe.
Maggie.
Oh.
Well,
thank you.
The challenge, I could also say you were being sick was a challenge, but we'll pick something else. How's that?
Yeah.
So this week, I did not get an opportunity to exercise as much as I wanted.
Oh yeah, that is always hard.
And so a little bit of a kind of frustration. We were just like kind of burning the candle at both ends between Eva being up all night and me trying to still stay up on business and all of our calls.
Run the show.
And keep Arlo, our son, alive and happy.
Yeah.
And so that was just one thing that I realized that I missed in my life was a little bit more exercise. I mean, I still got a couple runs in. And it's fun too, because we realized that our standards are just different. That's something we realized. Because I only got like 3-4 mile runs in last week. And did a bunch of like, calisthenics and yoga and stuff at the house.
Right.
Which to most, or to a lot of people, I think would be, hey, I got a lot of stuff.
Would be like, hey, I'm good.
But for me, like, it's just, I thrive when I have a little bit more.
Yeah.
Intensity of energy.
I think when you lift weights.
Yeah, that does help a lot.
And
I got to stay looking good for Maggie.
Exactly. It's part of our marriage contract. No, just
right. always maintain a 6-pack, which that's out the window.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyways, so that was like one challenge I had. And so something I'm really excited to keep forward is like prioritize that, because I know that is like the preceding domino that if that falls, a lot of other things fall.
Yeah.
So
it's a pillar.
Vices will like kick in, I'll start eating bad. I'll start sleeping bad. And then just things start to snowball. So if I can maintain that sense of energy and exercise, helps me a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge, but then also a be wary, Adam.
That's your goal for next week.
Opportunity. Okay. This is what I'm most excited for. You ready? So next week, this last week kind of rolls into it. This past week, I had an interview with a man named Philip, who is a LinkedIn sales just all-star, incredible man.
Yeah.
Super funny, very engaging. We had kind of connected on LinkedIn. So we sat down for a podcast and it went so well. The conversation was great. We're working with an editor to get that episode kind of all tightened up and looking really good and polished. I can't wait to launch that. Next week, I have 2 more podcast interviews. One with a man named Ito, who runs a digital branding content creation business called Magic Media.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. We've had some great interactions and like the comments and chatting and back and forth, and his content is beautiful and he's growing his team. And so I just can't wait to kind of dive in and talk with him about what it's like to grow his agency, lessons he's learned, challenges that he is trying to overcome.
Yeah.
And in the same way that we have the couplepreneur, he calls it contentpreneur is his kind of thing.
That's cool.
Love that. It's so cool. So I'm excited for that. And then we also have an all-star Katie Roberts.
Yeah.
The one and only. She's kind of a accidental LinkedIn influencer. Is how she would put it. So she had a video on LinkedIn like kind of blow up.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool. She's going to come talk about that story, about how she thinks about video on the platform, social media in general, how she thinks about what was really cool is like, how do you think about a business that has a lot of different eggs in that basket and still being able to like clearly tell the world what it is that you do without being like, I make videos on LinkedIn and I also run a studio and also I do, this and this and this.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what she's come to and how things are progressing for her. So 3 really fun podcast interviews to drop soon. But this week I've got 2 of those interviews coming up.
Yeah.
And I get off these calls and my heart is just like racing. I'm just like so jazzed and stoked to do more awesomeness. This is our calling, living the life of content and creators and business and entrepreneurship. And it's just so fun.
And also it's really funny because like Philip, the one this past week he's living in Latvia. So Adam had a call at like 6 a.m. and it was just so funny because then he comes inside, like I'm like making my coffee and Adam's like comes inside. He's like, oh my gosh, I just got off the podcast. And I'm like,
yeah. And you're sick and it's 6 in the morning.
I know. I'm like, very good.
Very good. Sounds great. Talk about it later.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Let me get my coffee first.
Yeah.
So. I can't wait to listen to it though.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm looking forward to this next week. And I think we did it. That's all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all the stuff.
We did it. Hey, before we sign off today, it would mean the world to us if you would do us this one favor. Wherever you're listening to this right now, whether that's YouTube, Instagram.
No.
YouTube.
I don't know.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this right now, go leave us a comment if you would, please. That would mean the world to us. A comment, a rating, 5 stars. 5 stars. Tell the world what you like about it. If you have any questions for us, drop them in the comments there as well. And ultimately, we want to spread this so that we can have more either couplepreneurs or people just interested in building an online business or people just wanting to have an awesome life. Let's collect this group together and let's charge into the future, building something epic.
Love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very cool. If you are a couplepreneur, if you are a couple that's in business or aspiring couplepreneur, definitely reach out to us. Like I said, send us a message on YouTube, comments, drop something there, emails, go to adamandmaggie.com, sign up for the newsletter. But we are actually curating a community of other couplepreneurs where we can kind of share ideas, get inspiration, commiserate when things are challenging, but basically talking about what it's like to not only start an online business or run an online business, but to do so with your partner. All of the good things that can come with that, but all of the challenges that can also come with that if you're not careful. And so what lessons can we learn from each other to make that more effective and life-giving? So if that's something you're interested into, go to adamandmaggie.com, sign up for the newsletter, and then respond to one of our newsletters. And that's a lot of work for you to do. We'll probably streamline that at some point. But
we'll make it easier.
Anyway. Cool. Well, any closing thoughts, Maggie?
No, I'm just excited to go eat some birthday cake.
Oh, yeah. We're at the cabin to celebrate a birthday. Yeah.
Love it.
Very cool. All right. Hey, thanks so much for listening to today's Walk and Talk. Have a great week and go crush it.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.